Protecting your empath energy. Life in general is hard for the empath with an overload of an influx of external energy that we have to try and navigate. And sometimes it means minimizing our exposure, which leads to isolation. Now, what's currently happening, there's a lot of toxic energy going around, and it's inevitable that the empath is going now to be overwhelmed with all the negativity, regardless of what side of the equation you are on, whether it's political, whether it's socio-economical, whether it's personal. There's just so much going on from the energy, the devastation that we're witnessing with the fires in LA. There are also fires across other parts of the continent, other continents. There's just a lot of tragedy going on. The toxicity behind the fires, what's the cause? Is it a conspiracy? There's so much to unpack and absorb. Then we've got still the remnants of the Luigi case and the shooting of the CEO. We've got the inauguration coming up. We've got the death of former President Jimmy Carter. We've got the threat of a potential war pending with Greenland, which would then result in a war with the rest of the EU because Denmark, as a owner of Greenland, part of NATO, I mean, it just gets so complicated on so many levels of life, not to mention the TikTok war about it being banned and everybody migrating, going from leaving Facebook, leaving Meta, going on to Red Note, and there's just so much hate and anger and frustration and disappointment. And for anybody, it's overwhelming, let alone for the empath. And I want to share some strategies and also a reminder and invite you as the community. How are you managing? What are your best practices to manage this type of toxic energy? Welcome to the Sigma Empath podcast. This is the rant edition. I have no guests. I just choose a relevant topic and just talk about it, inviting you to engage, to share your insights, your thoughts, your perspectives. Agreement is fine. Disagreement is fine too. Make it respectful. It's about engagement. It's about community. It's about learning. This is the mission of the empath. It's the foundation of the empath. We seek understanding. And so I have my opinions, I have my thoughts, but I'm open and receptive to different perspectives, express them eloquently, and I take those into consideration. As an empath, I don't need to advertise what side of the political equation I'm on. I'm anti-narcissist. That should say everything. And somebody accused me saying that as an empath, this platform should not be political. As an empath, like everybody, I have the right to have an opinion and express myself on any world issues that impacts me directly or indirectly. So there's nothing that is off limits for an empath. We are heavily impacted by any form of injustice, any form of bullying, any form of narcissism. It impacts us because we are programmed to defend what is right, what is a sense of fairness and justice, which includes everything from religion to politics to racism to genderism to ageism to sexism, you name it. It impacts the empath because our moral code is very, very high. So how does the empath manage all this divisive energy? The simple answer is to switch off. Switch off for as much as you can. I have intentionally minimized my time on social media. Months ago, I already deleted all the news apps on social media thinking that this would help. But what's happened is everybody's now having access to information and everybody's sharing information where news is now being shared by everybody and anybody. So it's almost impossible to not be bombarded with current and world events. So what I'm having to do is be very intentional in all the things that I do to protect my energy. I'm having to double and triple the dose, whether that is sleeping extra hours, whether that is going into nature that little bit longer, whether that is meditating 3 times a day instead of twice or instead of once. All the things that I do, I'm having to increase the dose because it is overwhelming. I don't know about you, but I am feeling such a level of angst and a sense of anxiety with the world energy. I can't think off the top of my head where we have been bombarded with so much divisiveness other than the previous election, with so much divisiveness on so many different levels all at the same time. And I didn't even mention what's happening in Gaza. All the images, the visuals, the energy of innocent lives being taken, the children, and that's always my concern. Forget what adults are fighting about. That's one level. Adults are greedy, but when it comes to children and harmless, innocent lives are being taken, then it no longer becomes about politics. It no longer becomes about moral persuasions or religious persuasions. It becomes about protecting innocence. And so do in the comments, please share, what are your go-to practices? What is working for you in this current toxic climate? What are you doing that is helping you maintain a level of calm, a level of inner peace, a level of sanctity, a level of harmony? I think a lot of empaths are struggling. And again, just increase the dose. That's what I've been doing. But I have to be very, very intentional with everything that I'm doing, because at this point in time, I'm in a dark place. My mood is exceptionally heavy. I am fighting back internal tears with everything that I'm facing, and I'm struggling with all the things that I practice, with all the insights that I've shared, with all my coaching that I've done. Here I am feeling a sense of hypocrisy, a sense of imposter syndrome, that here I am preaching to the choir about what to do as an empath to feel empowered, and here I am myself feeling at a loss. Am I the only person out here feeling at a loss emotionally as to what to do? And even with me doubling the dose, tripling the dose, I'm still feeling heavily, heavily impacted by current affairs in society. I go to bed at night and I'm restless. I wake up with a sense of anxiety of how am I going to face the day? I don't want to get onto social media because I know it's going to impact me. But then there's this conflict, but I need to run a business, and I feel a responsibility to the community that I'm trying to build, and I want to share positivity and share a message, but I don't want to get on because I'm going to be bombarded, and it's a struggle. Again, please let me know, what are your best practices? How are you managing this toxic climate? And I do promote also acceptance. A part of what I'm doing is simply accepting this is the energetic climate that we're in right now. For those of you who want to get paranormal and highly spiritual, it's the battle of good and evil. We are shifting into a new dimension, into 5G. We can go down that path. Whichever path you go down, whether it's intellectual, spiritual, metaphysical, it's intense. It is intense. Everybody, this is a short one. Thank you for joining me. Once again, please let me know. I am now reaching out for your insight, for my personal well-being, but also for the benefit of the community. Thank you for listening to the Sigma Empath podcast, Rant Edition. There were no guests. You today were the guest. I was basically inviting you to answer some questions. Thank you for participating. And once again, please keep your disagreements respectful. I will get warrior mode on you if you insult anybody. I will delete your sorry ass. I will do it. I will do it. I will do it. Keep it respectful, or you do not belong in this community. Everybody, stay safe. Stay energetically protected. Thank you.